Today, when we talk about longevity, the conversation is evolving from simply lifespan to health span. Not just living longer, but living well. And living well is not only about physical fitness, muscle, cholesterol, blood pressure. It's also about emotional resilience, mental clarity, stress, anxiety, trauma, loneliness, and the wellness of the mind. My guest today, Mr. Bilal Awan, is a founder of PsycReality, a company revolutionizing mental health treatment using virtual reality and AI. The winner of European CEO of the Year Award 2025. The question I want to explore with him today is this: can immersive technology become part of preventive mental health care, not only treating illness, but helping human beings function, feel, and truly live better? Bilal, welcome.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So we saw your intros through a lot of like search pages. I found you in the Forbes, and I think there's a lot of presentations you have
And
done.
BBC coming down the line.
Yes, exactly. Amazing. So, but is I want to know your journey. What shaped you to this position from your story?
Okay. It's a personal story.
Okay.
My father spent nearly 40 years in UAE
Yeah.
in the army. So when he went back after he completed his services back to Pakistan, after some, not very recent, but after a while,
Yeah.
he did suffer from Alzheimer.
Okay.
And I saw him fade slowly and
yeah,
painfully.
Yes, exactly.
So that obviously gave me, I mean, I couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
And that broke me.
Yeah.
But I realized that he's not alone. There are 1.1 billion people in the world suffering from mental illnesses.
Yeah.
And there were behind every one of them is
Yeah.
a family, like
Exactly.
one of ours. So it gave me a push. I'm basically an entrepreneur with purpose, for
Yeah.
sure. And I'm an opportunist for the right reasons.
Right.
So I thought of this thing, discussions, and I started working on the technology.
Yeah.
And I realized earlier that the technology what we saw about 2, 3, 4 years ago,
Yeah.
that'll be replaced and that'll be fading out soon,
Yeah.
coming up with new things. So we started much earlier with much later stage technology. if it
Wow,
makes sense.
amazing. You're very right. Like when we talk about lifespan changing into health span, so one could be very long life sitting in a wheelchair, dependent on people whom name they can't even remember. So Alzheimer's is like a person but not present there. So that's amazing. And I think no discussion can be complete without talking about the mental health. You cannot have very good muscle and not knowing people. Amazing.
Even muscles have their own memory.
They have the memory. Amazing. So I was just reading about the VR technology. So I was just thinking that this VR technology, it's how it can be part of the preventive wellness, because now, as we said before the podcast, that it's a buzzword. So do you think like it can be part of the wellness when it comes to having a healthy brain on the healthy body?
VR is not the buzzword anymore.
No, wellness is.
Wellness is coming into more of an awareness.
Yeah,
It was sitting in our subconscious, so it is transferring into conscious now,
exactly.
right? So using these immersive technologies to prevent it, I think we have to put it other way around. Immersive technology is in use in
Yeah.
so many shapes and form
Yeah,
these days,
Yeah.
right? So we have to dig into what other people are using and change the purpose of it.
right.
Bring the purpose into the wellness side, mental health side. And when I speak to different professionals, different platforms in different parts of the world, in most advanced places, without naming them, many professionals have said, we have never thought that VR or this technology could be used in mental health.
Wow.
So is the awareness, it's not the use of the technology, is the awareness that something could be converged into something which is not even thought of,
Yeah.
but it has a big implication. And the impacts, I mean, we did our clinical tests in Vienna. That has shown over 90% betterment in the patient's condition.
Amazing. Wow.
Because when you compare CBT with exposure therapy, a traditional way,
Yeah.
right? You are a clinician, I'm a patient, I'm sitting with you, and you ask me, Bilal, imagine you are at the top of the building. So I close my eyes and I imagine. I might not have a very strong imagination,
Yeah.
right? So my body will not emerge into that situation. My body
Exactly.
will not react.
Of
I would say,
course.
Bushra, I don't know where I am. I don't know if I'm able to do it or not. So it's going to take longer time.
Yeah.
With VR exposure therapy,
Yeah.
what we are doing is we are immersing the person into that situation.
Right. Amazing. So now I want my audience, because my audience is a general population also. So when you say VR, so it's like wearing a headset, and then there's a screen which will be might be addressing, like, say suppose I am a patient who has fear with the height or fear with the snake. So it's a immersion. Or I want you to explain this.
So there are two stages in simple words. One is medium and one is immersion,
Yeah.
right? These gadgets, like so VR, these are just the medium. So when you put them on, what happens? You're using the medium to immerse.
Right.
So when you are immersed, means when you're seeing in that device, that you're in that situation, your brain forgets the medium,
Exactly.
right? So you are present.
Right.
That's why your body starts reacting.
Right, amazing.
Right.
So different from the traditional screen thing, which like could be we see as every time I see Titanic, I mean Jack and Rose drowning, I get emotional. It's much more beyond that.
Is feeling, because further to that one, what we have done is we are not using the avatars or computer graphics or cartoons.
Yeah,
So when you are immersed, a person is immersed in the situation, they are seeing real people, real dog,
Wow.
real snakes, and they are really at the top of the building.
and they are themselves
They're
present to
themselves present in
experience.
that situation, and their
Amazing.
body is reacting. And our technology allows that stimuli, or the dog or the fearful factor, in simple words, is 10 yards away from us.
Yeah.
So using VR, our technology allows them to walk towards the dog, right, in their own pace, right, without thinking or without stucking their brain that they don't have exit to the situation. This
Yeah.
is where brain freezes.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So allowing them, giving them the opportunity that yes, this is the situation. I have my own time to walk towards the dog.
Yeah.
And then when I'm closer to the dog, I can go around the dog in my
Right.
own pace.
Wow.
And then it is segmented based on gradual exposure,
Yeah.
systematic desensitization. What it means is initially, you being a clinician will expose me just being around the dog.
Right.
Right.
Amazing.
So when I'm comfortable.
So clinician is also wearing the headset.
No, clinician is seeing what patient is seeing on their
Right.
screen. And it's a guided
And they are
therapy.
also seeing the patient response.
Exactly.
And they can remove the patient from the situation if they see a response which they don't want. And they
Exactly.
can become even slower.
Because it's a
Amazing.
gradual, so it's not that they're gone to right next to the dog straight away. Right?
Yeah.
It is first exposed, being in the vicinity where the dog is, being comfortable, then seeing dog a bit of active, right? Then go to the next phases.
Yeah, amazing. So I want to ask next question. It looks amazing, but do you really have experiment where you have seen that biology change neural circuitry and the responses change? So like, do we have any evidence on that?
There are evidences, there are published papers, and what we are doing is based on those evidences, we are embedding bio and neurofeedback into our solution. So what is going to happen is this is being implemented, that it is compared with the baseline. Right?
Yeah.
During the therapy, it's comparison on an ongoing on an ongoing basis,
Yeah.
real time.
Right.
So system knows where to expose more or
Yeah.
where to reduce the intensity
So
of
it's
the.
by what? The wearables
There are
or
variables we are
right.
launching. So not only
So
bio, but the
wearables
neuro as
are
well.
also
Integrated with the whole system.
Amazing. That makes real sense. Yeah. So you have objective parameter which monitor
Measurable
when to
objects,
do
yes.
what and it goes along. Amazing. So now I want to ask you that do you have any experiences that where clinician is using those VR headsets and they found something which they got surprised and they expressed.
Good question. You put me on spot here.
I know it's in the beginning, and we still is about to see a lot of miracles from that. But just if you have any,
We, all of the clinicians and people who are using technology, they do their best to avoid miracles
yeah,
in that situation.
exactly, it should be expected stuff.
Expected. And what happens is because it's a gradual,
Yeah,
right? So they know the progression. They are
Amazing.
seeing the progression.
Yeah,
And always clinical protocol suggests that whenever patient is not comfortable, right, they can raise their hand or they can say, and the device could be taken off.
right.
And it is not that this is the VR exposure is the whole of 40, 50-minute session. No, it is assisting clinicians as a tool to help them.
Right. Amazing. See, we are living an era where people are suffering from stress, anxiety, loneliness, trauma. So, as the wellness is also going, like people are taking red light therapy beds at home, the sauna at home. Do you think there will be a scope when people will start taking VR set to treat whatever the burden they bring from their jobs or from an unpleasant meeting, and they just go home and they can just wash their brain from that through those VR headset? Do you think like that could be the future of wellness and this VR sets?
That is present.
Amazing.
That is happening.
Yeah.
Wellness, and that is more so of calmness and rejuvenation,
Meditation.
But that
Guided.
is not the treatment,
Right.
right? Our solution is always going to work with a clinician.
Okay.
So
But
initial,
a clinician is for the disease, the real disease,
Yes.
like somebody PTSD. But sometimes we have a burden of the day and we just want to throw that. So, do you see like VR headsets can be helpful in that when, I think loneliness is not going to get lesser in the world, it's going to grow even bigger. So, when people going home and that VR headsets can do some therapy that they become calm from that
yes,
day burden.
that is more of a meditation, right?
Okay.
So when we are talking about VR, when we are talking about clinicians,
Yeah.
if we just take depression,
Yeah.
anxiety, ADHD, autism, and dementia,
Right.
these 5 conditions make up to 850 million people in the world,
Yeah, exactly.
right? So person who is trying to use the VR just to get away from their daily stress,
Exactly.
there might be some underlying conditions.
Exactly.
This is where help is needed. Once they have guided therapy, or once they have seen a doctor
Right.
or a professional, right? So this will be incorporated
Right.
in their program.
Yeah,
right?
amazing.
So then they can do it at home.
Exactly.
There is no one
Yeah.
stopping them.
Exactly.
But we have to keep that fine line when to see the doctor and when you can do it on your own.
Amazing.
The problem is, Bushra, the problem is nowadays everybody is self-diagnosed ADHD.
Exactly. I had psychiatrist some days back as my guest, and she talked about it that every other TikTok post is about that I'm ADHD or I am autistic. So there was a point when I even thought that which one I am.
So, I mean, you would remember from your college time when you were doing medicine, and more specific with a psychologist, when they're studying, and I've heard from almost all of the psychologists, that when they are studying all these diseases and the problems, everybody believes they have it.
We have it. Yeah, you're very right. Now, I just want to know the experience from the patient, that because if they are the known disease, they might have that traditional counseling session where they're sitting across the clinician and they're discussing their fears, they're talking those fears, and then experiencing those fears. What difference they found out when they had
Okay.
the VR headsets?
I would go into two verticals. I would not go deep into the clinical discussions. Only thing on the clinical side I would say is up to 40% people who come to a clinician, they don't know what they don't know.
Exactly.
They don't know whether they have depression, they have anxiety, or XYZ.
Exactly.
They have no idea.
Right.
Right? So it's a job of a clinician to work through them. Now, the experience of a person who have used it in a non-clinical environment, right? That's okay to discuss. Different conferences we have attended, and we had different a group of people, right? What they have done is one person came and she was from North of Africa, right? Studying in Turkey
Right.
and going to Europe for her PhD,
Right.
right? She was afraid of dogs.
Yeah.
So when we used the VR, she was exposed and she used it for about 5-7 minutes,
Wow.
right? And after that, she was comfortable going near the dog. And that anxiety and that trauma, whatever
Yeah.
we call it, without going into
Yeah.
the clinical diagnostics, that fear she had, that gone away.
Amazing. That's amazing.
Because and then she came to a stage. It was a big conference, international conference,
Amazing.
and she expressed the following day, because what we have designed is it's not a short-term solution.
Yeah.
Every research we have conducted, because our solution is research-based. Every solution we have developed is detailed research.
Yeah.
So we focus on avoiding the relapsation.
Yeah. Amazing. Wow.
That's I would say our core.
Wow. That's amazing. So I just want to understand that how this has to be always clinician supervised in the clinic, while clinician is watching the same screen on a traditional screen, and patient is having immersive experience. So like you think like it should be part of the clinic with the psychologist and psychiatrists both, or just the psychologist?
It depends on the condition.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a decision, a clinical decision to be taken by a clinician.
Yeah.
We provide solution to psychologist, psychiatrist, psychotherapist, psychiatric nurse
So it could be all can
who are
use it.
trained. They can use it.
Yeah.
It's
Now,
there a clinical decision
Yeah.
who goes with it.
amazing. So now I'm coming from the gynae space. So the most feared situation, if you ask me, every day women talk to me about labor. Just recently, I don't want to name the girl. She's a very sweet girl. She just stood up. She already delivered, but she said, I have fears. And I said, now you deliver. Now already fear should finish. So labor is something which is really fearful situation. Do you see a scope? Because it's a big population, 50% of the world is women, and they can choose to have delivery and birth, and they may have multiple births. So it could be a big scope. Do you see like a VR headset can address those fears in any way?
We are working with Rawalpindi Medical University.
Amazing.
They have 3 allied hospitals.
Right.
And a very big population clinical. They have over 3,000
Of course.
beds amongst in between
Yeah.
those hospitals. So we are working with 3 of the departments, and one of them is gynecology,
Right.
right? So what we are designing in collaboration with psychiatry department, because they are taking the lead into this one,
Yeah.
that addressing and trying to, in some shape and form, help them to start with at
Yeah.
the beginning, in postpartum depression.
Oh, yeah. That's also my
Right.
thing.
So what we are designing is when women come for their regular appointments,
Right.
Psychiatric department is designing a short questionnaire
Okay.
to be part of their file,
Wow.
right? Few questions to be asked on every visit,
Right.
right? And then this is one part. So parking it for the minute.
Mm-hmm.
Then if we look at some figures, there was a study done that 59% of women, they don't even know they are suffering from postpartum depression.
Of course.
And when we delve deep into it, that was early 2000 study,
Wow.
very old.
2026.
Right.
Oh, sorry, 26 years back.
Nearly, right? And another parameter is, I'll go step by step
Yeah.
into all these things. Then another problem with the technology in any domain, or specifically with mental health, there is no larger data sets available of the population. Because
Yeah.
what happens when you go at a large scale study,
Yeah.
by the time you are really doing it,
Yeah.
technology might have been changed,
Of course. Yeah.
right? So we have addressed that side as well, that we have scoped out at a larger scale, where
Amazing.
even technology is changed. We don't have to go back to IRBs and we have to get
Yeah.
another process done.
Yeah.
That is incorporated.
Right. Amazing.
Then coming back to the older study.
Yeah.
So we are designing this study with the Rawalpindi Medical University and their hospitals, that studying those visits, right, and then seeing, predicting based
Yeah.
on their own scales,
Yeah.
who might fall into
For the
depression,
postpartum depression.
postpartum depression. right?
I think that also come during the pregnancy. So people have those fears and they
Exactly.
lead to
So the point of having those questionnaires during all those visits to
during
find
the
out
antenatal. Amazing.
to see the parameters.
Yeah.
So let's say their file has those records,
Right.
And if they fall into the depression, postpartum depression, they can study
Yeah.
what led to this,
Yeah.
Right.
Amazing.
and then that will have a larger population study, and then we are doing an educational program. So
Amazing.
before they discharge from the hospital, before they go home with their new babies, they are educated, given pamphlets in different languages.
Amazing.
That if you feel, in very simple words, if you feel A, B, C, or if you find yourself in these feelings, this is the number. You can come up with
Amazing.
the support.
Amazing.
And
I feel so interested in this being gynecologist
and
because
then coming with the technology,
Yeah.
the last bit
Yeah.
is where we are designing how to address and how to use the stimulus to desensitize those fearful factors or those thoughts.
amazing. That's really amazing. And they are very big majority of the world. These young girls, they are professionals, they're amazing, shining girls, and suddenly you see them like their faces going down, their moods, and sometimes they cry in my clinic also. It's a very frequent thing. So the moment I realize somebody is about to cry, I just offer tissue paper. And literally, it doesn't take a second. They start the tears which were never addressed, or why they were down, it was never. And it is coming also from the culture. Because
was about to say
our moms never expressed that anything like depression, postpartum depression was there. So it was never addressed. So it's an amazing work. I would love to know more about it in future. So also nowadays kids, I see the fears and bullying, and my son one time said to me that, "Mummy, why people measure up how much we have?" So I was surprised that he's just a child. What's happening in the school? There's a lot happening in the schools also. So do you think there could be a scope in addressing those things? I think there should be special programs of addressing, because they're future generation, and that is the time we can prevent a lot.
We are working on a program for bullying in
Yes.
schools and institutes.
That's very important.
What we understand, and I always talk in a layman term,
Yeah.
right? Why a person gets bullied.
Yeah.
If Dr. Bushra is bullying Bilal, why Bilal is being bullied?
Yeah.
Firstly, I am letting you do it,
Do that.
right? Second thing is, I don't have confidence to stand up for me,
Yeah.
right? And third thing is, Dr. Bushra probably has trauma herself,
Exactly.
which is triggering, right?
Exactly.
So we are addressing these parameters where we empowering a person to relive that in the presence of a clinician in the VR, that this person is being bullied, and
Yeah.
how to react and how to gain their confidence
Yeah.
and take a step back So now you are being defensive so far. Taken step back is giving you a time to compose yourself.
Right.
Take the same step forward. Now you are being offensive. So that's a clear message to the other person.
So can this be immersive
This is
experience,
what
like
we are
they rehearse, and they
exactly.
come empowered to
Exactly.
face? Amazing. I
Exactly.
can see a scope already here. Yeah.
This is what we are
Yeah.
working on. Soon we will be bringing it into the market.
Amazing.
We are giving confidence to the person.
Yeah.
And then very, very, very important. What
Exactly.
we are bringing in is when a person is taking a step forward and when it's becoming, body language is becoming offensive, this person must have empathy.
Yeah.
So adding the empathetic perspective is another important thing we are working on.
Amazing. But that will be all through this immersive
Yes.
experience that even bully needs treatment, what I understand from you. And the person being bullied also need treatment. Amazing. So there will be a big scope working with the schools. So you are at intersection of the mental health and technology. Both are really. So how do you see the future? Like, because of course AI is getting also into the everything, the wearables and everything. So do you think the future would be like, I just woke up, I wore my wearable, and then being detected something and having that I should go for some session? Do you see the future that way?
I think what we need is more so those gadgets, not for the self-diagnosis, but making people who are using it more aware that they need help.
Right. Amazing.
They to accept that it is okay not
Yeah.
to be okay.
Yeah. It's
That
yeah, of course.
education, right?
Exactly.
So they have to have a defined line being educated to them,
Yeah.
right? Yes, at some stage it is okay to be at this stage. This is natural. Having a fear in you is natural. You must have it's a
Exactly.
survival.
Yeah.
right?
Exactly. Of course.
But if it goes beyond this one and if it impacts X, Y, and Z, right? You must seek a help. From their guidance, you can work going forward,
forward,
right?
exactly.
But what is happening nowadays is the onus is on technological companies, I would say, right? That they to define further ethics,
Exactly.
right? We have to define and
Because AI reading you and then this being used by that's very big thing if AI comes to the mental
I
health.
mean, one case obviously has been mentioned over and over in the States. ChatGPT did not do well with one of the kid and he ended up committing suicide,
Exactly.
right? So the line is already crossed,
Exactly.
right? Now the problem...
But even the data being used, like if I'm taking help for my some mental disorder through the AI and AI getting that data and that data being used for some purpose against me or in any way harming me. So that line, like that thing, is it being addressed?
See, it comes down to the ethics of human, right? These digital devices, these technologies, these AI chatbots, these technologies, sophisticated algorithms, right? They are machines, right? Machines are not going to get benefit out of that data,
Yeah.
right?
But that data being
Used by human.
exactly the provider.
So the data being collected there mean our behavior. Mean when you are walking around different places, you probably have a pop-up on your screen, or you've been to Tim Horton in Mirdiv's city center. Do you want to rate them? Why would I?
Yeah.
And why would you ask me?
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So we are
Because
gone.
yeah, we
used
are
to-
already there. Yeah,
We are already
but
there.
about mental disorder, it's very personal, and people as traditionally people used to choose not to share their depressions. People used to be silently suffering.
Stigma attached.
Exactly, but now they're seeking help, and it's the data being stored that they had help for certain situation, and maybe in future they're competing maybe for being presidents and maybe being some big position, and that data jeopardizing.
You have a footprint,
Exactly.
and also what I must add here is you choose what you tell
Yeah,
to your personal chatbot.
exactly.
It stores,
Yeah.
right? And then it compares with others, right? It is going to give you any answer you ask them,
Right.
right? But now, recently, we were doing some experiments and we
Amazing.
asked some very tricky questions. So it tried to dodge it.
Right.
It is getting there,
Yeah.
right? But we are still not there yet.
Amazing. So let's talk about wellness and VR headset. So where we are.
Where we are at a very advanced and peaceful place.
Amazing.
If it is done right, if it is used right, and if it is understood right,
Right.
right? So if you look at it, I mean, bringing religion, okay, leave that religion aside.
Yeah.
Bringing a technology
Yeah.
in the shape of frequencies,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
There is a sound healing.
Yeah.
Why do you need to go to the mountains and hear the bird in the morning,
Yes,
right?
exactly.
Why do you have to have a silence in the evening, right?
Yeah.
So all these impact
Wow.
our subconscious,
Amazing.
right?
So don't you see this scope of this? Like we are going home and in the evening we missed all the rains and all the picnics and everything, and at home we are there. So I can tell you one example. So my house balcony sees his street, and I love that thing because it has a camel race course where there's nothing, and then very far building. So I'm just reading and then I'm look far, my eyes really feel good. So do you see these kind of things when people go home and maybe and actually sunset is there also from my balcony, so they can just see at home with the VR set that sunset, maybe they're sitting in an ocean and maybe they're sitting in a mountain having that breeze and everything. Do you see scope of VR headset in future, like for a personal relaxation thing in the evening?
It's already there. I mean, there
It's
are so
already
many
there.
things.
Amazing.
But I personally, being technologist, I'm not a big fan of using VR for everything.
Yeah.
Because what happens is it brings you more into the loneliness because you have found an escape
Yeah, from
being
the
socialized.
world. Exactly. Socially disconnected and
Exactly.
having VR headset
And
that moment.
technology, because bullying, as we discussed earlier, bringing back into this one, and loneliness, technology is part of it because what they are doing is, you and I, we both know people, kids are losing their social skills
Exactly.
because of technology.
Exactly.
They are becoming more and more dependent. If we are going to not use the nature to calm ourselves down, we
Exactly.
are going to use technology more, right?
Exactly.
Where is sustainability? To use the technology, we need to spend more energy, we need to consume more energy, right? That all has a ripple effect on the on our society, on our nature and everything.
So we should put a boundary like,
Exactly.
yes, this is the place where it finishes.
Limit
Yeah?
yourself. Maybe if you're using technology and using VR, yes, absolutely okay to use it if you want to, right? Your personal choice. However, replace it with real nature.
Exactly. And
Time
even
to
if you,
time.
it's better to watch a movie with sharing a bag of popcorn with people rather having the VR headset.
Exactly.
Amazing. So it can push the loneliness more. So let's talk about your father's like Alzheimer's disease, how it reached you to this conclusion, that journey, if we can have some light on that.
As I mentioned, I have seen him. I mean, we used to call him Papa. You have become Gajini.
Oh, yeah.
You remember
yeah,
few
exactly.
things, you don't remember few things.
Exactly.
Whatever you want to remember, you can't.
That's tricky. That's smart, by the way.
So obviously, before I got into any of these things,
Yeah.
sadly he passed away. But that had a spark in me that kept me looking for something I didn't
Solutions.
know what I was looking for.
Right.
And even I didn't know I was even looking for something.
Yeah, exactly.
But something in me that I must do something.
Yeah.
Right? So an opportunity came, technological advancement was there. We were discussing few things, an idea was born, another idea was born. So it led one, two, three, four different things. I started working on it. I gathered my team members, my co-founders.
Amazing.
We discussed, and we all started from there. Then going forward from there, everything. Where I am today, I am because of my father, because the confidence he gave me.
course.
He took me to all those high-profile places and meetings,
Yeah.
social gatherings.
Amazing.
Where-
Networking.
Networking, where a young boy of 16, 17 years old will not have
Of course.
exposed to, right?
Yeah.
So that led me there, and rest I would say is history. And one thing I kept going is collaborating with educational institutes
Yeah.
on an ongoing basis.
Okay, amazing. I just want to one question. Do you think biochemistry will have a role like checking the chemicals and then deciding the therapy?
Everything is. When you're looking when you're looking at bio and neurofeedback,
Yeah.
right? Being non-medical person, that is linked to your biology.
Yes, of course.
That is linked to your chemicals.
Exactly.
That is a change happening in you.
Yeah.
That is the output.
Amazing. So now there's camera is yours. One message to our audience who is seeking wellness and especially the mental wellness.
What I would ask you is be yourself, ask help if you need, and come and help us who are trying to help other people live better personal, social, and family lives.
Amazing. So thank you so much. I think less than 24 hours we started talking that we are having a podcast. So it's a very, very short notice.
Thank you very
And
much.
but it was really amazing. And we are looking forward to more sessions because I find it very interesting and I think it has a lot of scope in the future.
Definitely. Thank you very much for having me.